Here's a breakdown of the National Guardsmen who were in St. Louis at the time. About 900 soldiers scheduled to work the night of the grand jury decision, another 900 scheduled to work the next shift, and an additional 400 were part of what's called QRF, Quick Reaction Force. Here's what it looked like on the ground. A heavy National Guard presence in surprisingly quiet Clayton, but no sign of soldiers in North County. At 10:54 p.m., I contacted Governor Jay Nixon's office. Can we get an answer ASAP as to why the National Guard was not deployed to Ferguson? We were not the only ones asking the governor. We've learned about political leaders and law enforcement asking the same question, all while firefighters in North County had to back away from blazes because of gunfire.
It's very obvious that they left in a rush.
A different picture than one painted by the governor November 11th when he said,
"The residents and businesses of this region will be protected."
Later Tuesday, Governor Jay Nixon said this at a news conference.
As I said before, we had 700 guardsmen in the region.
The governor said he would increase the force to 2,200. We now know that force was already here. Last week, Ferguson Police Chief Tom Jackson told Fox 2 it was the original plan to activate more guardsmen.
And I was informed that we were going to have National Guard down here like we do now, and that certain select businesses, public facilities, buildings, and so forth were going to be also protected. I was informed of the change of the plan around November 6th.
That was the week some news outlets reported Jackson would resign. He did not. I asked the governor if that was the reason for the decision to leave Ferguson unprotected.
Governor, was your failure to deploy National Guard promptly, specifically to Ferguson, political payback for Chief Jackson remaining?
No, I mean, we had, as I said before, we had about 700 guardsmen in 100 locations in the city and the county last night.
Yet another 1,500 remained waiting, but not called until after 1 a.m. Tuesday morning. A few days later, we tracked down the governor in Rolla. What's the answer to the yes or no question? Did St. Louis County's police chief ask for North County to be protected?
Well, certainly we all worked together to make sure we were working on the dual pillars.
So then why did Rapid Response sit and watch businesses burn?
Well, as I said before, the plan that night was to make sure that we had officers out there. Once
but they weren't out there.
Certainly they were. There were
North
700. Yes, they were.
But there were 1,500 sitting and waiting. 700 out on the streets and 1,500 waiting for a call.
There were 700 that were assigned that night. Others came later as the night went on.
Not until 1 a.m. November 25th, nearly 2 hours after Fox 2 asked the governor's office, where's the guard in North County? Why not have them in North County? It sounds like you're saying the St. Louis County Police Chief did ask for that presence.
No, what I'm saying is that the plan was that that law enforcement officers who had been trained would be out on the front lines. You didn't want to have a Kent State situation. You certainly didn't want to have a situation in which guardsmen who had only been there a few hours, who had not been used to the very kinetic atmosphere of people throwing things and screaming things, were on the very front tip of that spear. That was the plan. I think it has prevented the loss of life.
For the Fox Files, I'm Chris Hayes.